What I want to talk about today is setting goals and where we come from when we're setting goals. So often, New Year's resolutions and all of these things, the beginning of anything new, we often look at, well, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to change? Who do I want to be? And sometimes we come from a place of like, wow, I want to do this thing and I want to get there. I'm very motivated, I'm very driven. I know that I'm going to have to learn a lot and I'm willing to put myself in the line of fire. And that's great. And usually that is motivating. And usually there is a strong why to get behind the daily tasks that need to happen in order to achieve the thing. That is not the kind of goal setting that I necessarily want to talk about, although it will apply to that too. What I want to talk about is the goal setting that we go to when we're thinking, I should do this thing in order to be a better thing. I should eat healthier in order to be a healthier person. I should lose weight in order to be a more fit person. I should be more patient to be a better parent. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do to be a better partner, but I want to be better. I want to be a better human at whatever I'm endeavoring, right? Whoever I'm defining myself as, I need to be better. I should be better. I shouldn't do these things. So I'm going to eliminate them in order to be better. And what I want to offer you is whenever we are coming from that place of a need that we're not okay now, wherever we are now is not okay. And so we've got to change ourselves in order to be okay. That goal is going to go down the tube so fast it'll make you, as my mom used to say, it'll make your head spin. Right? Because when we are driven by I should change myself in order to be acceptable, what are the emotions that come up? Shame, criticism, scarcity. I'm not enough right now. Those feel terrible. And so they're not motivating. When you go into those emotions, oftentimes, me for one, I will say with my words, I'm gonna do all the things right. And then with my actions, I'll do nothing at all. I will give it the middle finger. I will totally freeze in my tracks in the emotion of shame, in the emotion of criticism, whether it's criticism from someone else or criticism from me. So we can often use goals against ourselves because you're saying, I can be better and I'm going to be this better person. I'm going to eat perfectly. I'm going to exercise all the times I say I'm going to. I'm going to do all the things right. I'm never going to yell at my child again. I will not pledge that because I've had a relationship with perfectionism and it always leads to that original emotion I just talked about, shame, because I can't be perfect. It's not attainable. It's not attainable. But sometimes in our goals, we set these goals with the perfect image in mind. That perfect image is vague. It's vague for a reason. It doesn't actually exist. We can't find perfection because my perfection is different from your perfection. Your perfection is different from the person across the street's perfection. And so we can't find it because we can't be accepted by all the places at once. And so we're always lacking. Maybe I'm lacking in my own eyes. Maybe I think I'm lacking in yours. Maybe I think I'm lacking in the neighbors. None of it feels good. None of it does. And so when I'm looking at this vague goal of perfection based on this feeling that I'm not enough, I can't get there because I don't really know where I'm going. I don't have a clear picture of what I'm doing. So how do we change that? When we think about, I want to get better at parenting, and I think what would make me get better at parenting is to not yell so much. Now, that is a skill I can develop. I'm not never going to yell again. I'm building the skill of yelling less. I'm building the skill maybe of taking a pause. Maybe I'm building the skill of taking a deep breath. Whatever it might be, I can build a skill. I cannot be perfect. So when we take our goals to a place of what skill can I build to become a better person at this or that or whatever, to become better at parenting, to become healthier, to become more fit, what skill can I build? Then I start to feel a little different. I start to feel different because number one, I'm not defining myself as the parent that is good or not good. I am focusing on a skill that I'm learning. And when I know that I'm learning, I know that I'm going to be kind of goofy. I know it's going to be wobbly at first. And so I can bank on that. I can build that wobbliness in, and I can have a little grace for that. Oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do it so well that time. And that's okay because, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm learning. I'm getting better. The time before, what I did it this way, and that was terrible. Now I did it a little bit better. I'm learning. And I can give myself a little kudos for that because I am moving up the spectrum. I am building the skill. So when you identify that skill that you want to build, you can then say, okay, what tasks, what steps will I need to take to build the skill? What areas of my life will this skill serve? Who else will benefit by me building this skill? This isn't just me. This is what I love to do. I just want to help people, right? I'm like happiest when I feel like I'm useful, when I feel like I'm helpful. I think that's Enneagram 7. But regardless, I like to serve. So if I think that I'm building a skill, I'm becoming better at parenting, and I can serve not only me, because I'm not criticizing myself as much, but I'm also serving my family. Well, that feels great versus I should be a better parent. Vague means I stink at parenting now, and I probably won't achieve it because I'll feel so stinky the whole process. So then you can start asking your questions when you think about what are the steps that I need to take. You can also ask yourself, what are the steps I need to not take? What are the things that I need to sort of sacrifice doing in order to build the skill? What am I going to have to stop doing? Well, I'm going to have to stop speaking right off the cuff, probably, if you're me. If you're me in parenting and wanting to yell less, you're going to have to stop speaking right off the cuff. You're going to have to take a pause. So what am I going to sacrifice? I'm going to sacrifice the impulsivity of saying what's on my mind. You can also ask yourself, what am I sacrificing if I don't learn this skill? For me, in the yelling instance, it's constantly criticizing myself because I hate when I yell. I don't feel good after I've done it. I'm not building skills with my son. I'm not building connection. I'm sacrificing connection with myself. I'm sacrificing connection with my child. And I'm sacrificing my impression of how I fit into our mold. Right. So I'm sacrificing a lot in this case. It is a high reward skill for me to build. So when it's high reward, when I can identify not just how it's going to serve me, but how it's going to serve the whole, I'm more connected to that. Of course, we all want to be more connected to our children, right? It sounds lovely. Of course, we all would love to yell less, but we can't deny that anger comes up. And so, but if I can focus on building the connection instead of just stopping the stinky behavior, then that's more valuable to me. Stop the stink versus really build a deeper connection. I'm really drawn to that positive emotion. So that's the next question I want you to ask yourself. What will I feel when I get there? When I'm better, when I have built the skill at patiently addressing hard situations, tricky situations, things that are that where I feel angry, when I feel angry, I'm building the skill of handling that better. How will I feel? I will probably feel for a minute like steam's coming out of my ears, but then I will feel proud of myself instead of shameful. I will feel connected to my son instead of totally broken. I'll feel like I have tools in my tool belt that I can teach him instead of feeling the guilt that I'm teaching him all my bad patterns. And so I'm using parenting as an example, but you can use anything that you're going for, whether it's building wealth or building a business or whatever it might be. We have these kind of stinky thoughts about them. We have these really inspirational thoughts. We have places where we can connect to those things. So ask yourself, no matter what the skill is, no matter what the goal is, how will I feel when I get there? If it's not amazing, if it's not something that draws you, if it's not an emotion that's getting you to a great place, it's not going to be powerful enough to take you there. If you don't think the emotion is going to be good when you get there, you're not going to get on the path every day when the path gets hard. So identifying with that emotion, identifying that with that connection to yourself is what's going to be motivating. Motivation actually isn't motivating. You can't, like, if you think that every day that I work out, I'm motivated to do it, I'm definitely not. Some days I have just made the decision that it's this day of the week and I'm going to do a workout on that day of the week. And that's as motivated as I am. So it's digging into how will I feel when I build the skill that will take you there. So when we think of things that we should do, it's kind of tied to acceptance and shame. When we think of the skill that we're building, it's tied to service to yourself and to everyone around you. It takes courage to build a skill because it's going to be uncomfortable, right? Whenever we're learning something new, it's not easy. It's not comfortable. But when we know that we are learning, we can build that in. I'm going to feel uncomfortable when I'm learning. For sure, it's not going to be great the first time. Maybe not the 10th time, maybe not the 20th time, but I'm going to get better and better, hopefully every time. When you think that you should be different, it's always going to be come from a place of judgment. Judgment is tied to shame. It's tied to scarcity. It's tied to not enough. When I'm focusing on just gathering tools in my tool belt, I'm not defined by these tools. I'm enough right now. I'm enough right now, and I always want to be learning, and I always want to get better. I don't need to be better in order to be good. If this is resonating with you, I am here to dive deeper into this. So the idea of how you're defining yourself, where your worth is, what the things that you're doing to feel worthy and to feel enough. This is what I do in life coaching, whether it's setting goals or just getting through a tough time in your life or getting into something great in your life. Knowing what the thoughts are that are kind of holding you back and the thoughts are that can drive you forward are the money in the bank. They are the gifts of the world to take you to the place you want to be. When you try to set a goal and you think life is going to be amazing as soon as I get there, you're missing the joy of building the skill, the things that you are learning as you are becoming the person who can achieve that goal. That is actually where the joy is. That's actually where the beauty lies. That's actually where life is. That's actually where you are happy or you are unhappy. Is how can you learn and build your skills knowing the whole time you're just fine where you are and you're going to be just fine where you're going. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. You can also raise your hand and I'm happy to bring you on for coaching. I have a question and it says, how is this different? How are these questions different from setting SMART goals? And that SMART is specific, measurable, I forgot the acronym, achievable, timely, what's the R? Anyway, SMART goals are amazing. And this is the step that you do before SMART goals. Before you are getting into those specifics of what a SMART goal is, you're asking yourself, how do I want to feel when I get there? You're asking yourself, what skill am I going to build? What tasks am I going to do that will build the skill? How will this benefit me? How will this benefit others around me? What am I going to sacrifice if I don't learn this skill? And what am I going to sacrifice in order to learn this skill? Is it time? Is it patience? Is it, speaking off the cuff? Is it, what am I sacrificing? Because getting clear with that is really important too. So the step before setting the specifics of the SMART goals is getting to where you want to be in your mind and in your heart that are going to keep you showing up in a way that is full of love for yourself and full of love for where you're going. Thank you for that question. Any other questions? Would anyone like to be coached? I would love to connect with you one-on-one in a free consultation. If you want to see how this applies to your life, we can set up an hour to just chat about your specific situation one-on-one and see where we can go with it. I would love to do that. So if we don't have any more questions, I honor your time. I honor your day. I really appreciate you coming and being a part of this experience. And I look forward to next week.